You think society runs on freedom? That we make our own choices? Think again. We've all been trained to follow a script we didn't write. From the moment you were born, you've been shaped, guided, groomed, and most of us don't even realize it. This grooming isn't new. It's been happening for generations through media, education, and societal norms. Today, it's more pervasive than ever, with technology amplifying the reach and impact. In this series, we will uncover the layers of influence that shape our thoughts, our actions, and our very identities. It's time to wake up and see the truth. Are you ready to question everything you know? Let's get real for a second. Everything around you, from the ads you see, the schools you attend, the news you read, to even the way you think, isn't an accident. Society is being groomed, and we're all a part of it. Did you know that 90% of the information you consume is controlled by just a handful of corporations? Whether you want to admit it or not, most of what you believe about the world isn't something you came up with on your own. It was taught, programmed, conditioned. You were led to think this way. Let me show you how deep this really goes. Take social media. What you see online is not random. It's a carefully designed system that rewards the things you react to, keeps you locked in, and feeds you more of what keeps you hooked. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter use sophisticated algorithms to keep you engaged. Every video, every tweet, every picture, it's all part of the same grooming cycle. Think about it. You're shown viral trends, influencers living these supposedly perfect lives, ads selling you solutions to problems you didn't even know you had. TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube are no different. They all play on your psychology to keep you coming back. You're being groomed to compare yourself to an unrealistic standard, to chase validation from likes and followers, and to buy into this idea that you're never enough without more. Social media isn't just where you waste time, it's where society gets groomed to think, act, and desire in ways that benefit those who are really in control, the platforms and the advertisers behind them. Next up, consumerism. From the moment we're old enough to understand TV commercials, we're bombarded with the same message. Buy this and you'll be happy. Wear that and you'll be accepted. Drive this and you'll finally be successful. We've been groomed to believe that happiness is something we can purchase. Corporations have turned us into lifelong customers, chasing a dream we'll never catch. They've groomed society to stay in this never-ending loop of desire and consumption. It's why trends change so fast, why new products are pushed on us before we've even fully used the old ones. We're being trained to measure our success and our self-worth by what we own, not by who we are. It's deliberate, it's systematic, and it's profitable. For them, not for us. Take Black Friday, for example. Every year, people are driven into a frenzy, fighting over discounted items they don't even need. Or consider the rise of smartphone addiction. Companies design apps to keep us hooked, ensuring we're always consuming content. Fast fashion is another case. Brands release new collections weekly, encouraging us to buy more and discard quickly, leading to massive waste. The real-world implications are severe. Many fall into debt, trying to keep up with the latest trends, leading to financial stress and anxiety. And it's not just personal. The environment suffers too, with landfills overflowing and pollution increasing from discarded products. But awareness is growing. More people are recognizing the trap of consumerism and are pushing back against this cycle of control. Now let's talk about education. We grow up believing school is where we learn to think critically, where we gain the tools to succeed. But is that really what's happening? Or is it more about teaching us what to think rather than how to think? From a young age, we're groomed to follow rules, to memorize facts, to pass tests. We're rewarded for fitting into the system, not for questioning it. Think about it. How often are you encouraged to challenge the way things are, to push back against authority? It doesn't happen. You're being trained to comply, to accept the world as it is, and to play your part. Education isn't just about knowledge. It's about conditioning society to fit into a system that benefits a select few. Schools groom us to be obedient workers, not critical thinkers. Historically, this model of education has roots in the Industrial Revolution. Factories needed disciplined, punctual workers who could follow instructions. Dr. John Taylor Gatto, an award-winning teacher, argued that schools are designed to produce, quote, a manageable workforce. He believed that the system stifles creativity and independent thought. Consider Finland, where students are encouraged to think critically and creatively. Their education system consistently ranks among the best in the world. So why do we stick to a model that prioritizes conformity over innovation? In modern times, tech companies like Google and Apple seek employees who can think outside the box. They value creativity and problem-solving over rote memorization. It's time to rethink our approach to education, to foster environments where questioning and critical thinking are not just allowed, but encouraged. Only then can we truly prepare the next generation for the challenges of tomorrow. We like to think the news keeps us informed, that we're getting the facts so we can make our own decisions. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you watched the news and felt empowered to change the system? Or did it just leave you feeling anxious, overwhelmed, and powerless? The media grooms society by constantly feeding us fear, controversy, and division. It's designed to keep us distracted, focused on the next crisis, the next scandal, the next enemy, but rarely on the bigger picture, rarely on the people pulling the strings behind the scenes. You're groomed to believe that the problems you're shown are the only ones that matter. Meanwhile, the real decisions that shape your life are made behind closed doors by people you'll never meet. Social media platforms amplify this effect, creating echo chambers where only certain viewpoints are reinforced. Influencers and viral content shape public perception, often prioritizing sensationalism over substance. Online news sources can be just as biased, driven by clicks and ad revenue rather than journalistic integrity. Even podcasts and radio shows can contribute to this cycle, offering opinions that may not always be based on facts. Each type of media has its own way of influencing how we see the world, often shaping our beliefs and actions without us even realizing it. Now let's talk about where this all begins. Your family, your community. The very people who raised you, who love you the most, are often the ones who start the grooming process. Not because they're evil or manipulative, but because they, too, were groomed by society. From the moment you're born, you're taught how to behave, what to believe, and what's expected of you. You're given cultural norms, family traditions, and societal expectations. You're groomed to see the world in a certain way. This is where it starts. The beliefs you carry about success, relationships, morality, and even your own identity are shaped by what you were taught growing up. How much of your identity is truly yours, and how much is a reflection of what you were groomed to believe? Different cultures have their own sets of expectations and traditions, which can deeply influence your worldview. These cultural perspectives shape not only your identity, but also your sense of belonging and community. Understanding these diverse cultural impacts can help you see the broader picture of how society grooms individuals differently. It's essential to recognize and appreciate these differences to truly understand the complexity of societal grooming. And let's not forget the biggest players in this grooming game, the government and power structures. We like to believe we have freedom, that we live in democracies where we have a voice. But let's be real. Most of the decisions that shape our lives are made without our input. We're groomed to believe that voting every few years is enough to make a difference. Policies like tax reforms, healthcare regulations, and education funding are often decided behind closed doors. These policies can have profound effects on our daily lives, from the quality of our healthcare to the education our children receive. The grooming is subtle but effective. It keeps us focused on small battles, while the war for control goes unnoticed. And then there's you. Yes, you. You've been groomed your entire life to believe certain things about yourself, your worth, and your place in society. You're told what success looks like, how relationships should work, what's considered normal. But how much of your identity is truly yours? How much of it has been shaped by societal pressures, by expectations you didn't choose? You've been groomed to fit into a box, to play a role that benefits the system more than it benefits you. You're more than what society tells you to be, but until you start questioning the grooming, you'll never really know who you are. Psychological theories like Erikson's stages of psychosocial development suggest that our identity is shaped through various stages of life. From childhood to adulthood, each stage presents challenges and expectations that influence our self-perception. Real-life examples show how societal norms can dictate career choices, relationship dynamics, and even personal values. But by understanding these influences, you can begin to reclaim your true identity. It's a journey of self-discovery that requires questioning and introspection. Only then can you truly know who you are and who you want to be. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Society has been grooming us all. From the moment we were born, we've been shaped to fit into a system that controls how we think, how we live, and how we see the world. Throughout this video, we've explored how media, education, and social norms mold our perceptions. We've seen how powerful institutions influence our beliefs and desires. But now that you know, you have a choice. You can keep following the script, keep letting yourself be groomed, or you can start questioning everything. Every belief, every desire, every expectation. Where did it come from? And is it really yours? Wake up. The grooming ends when you decide it does. By questioning and understanding these influences, you can reclaim your autonomy. It's time to take control of your own narrative. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're ready to start questioning everything. Share this video, join discussions, and support independent media to stay informed.